हरि
जय
जय
राधा
राधा
माधव
माधव
कुंज
कुञ्ज
विहारी
गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
य गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदनन्दना व्रजनरञ्जन
यशोदनन्दन व्रज नरञ्जन
यमुनतीरावनचारी
यमुनतीरा वनचारी
जयो राधमाधवा कुञ्जविहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी
गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपीचर वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदनन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन
यशोदनन्दन व्रज
व्रजनरञ्जन
यमुनतीरावनचारी
यमुनतीरावनचारी
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
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 कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे
हरे
हरे
राम
राम
हरे
हरे
राम
राम राम
राम
राम
राम हरे
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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण कृष्ण
कृष्ण
कृष्ण हरे
कृष्ण
हरे
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 राम
राम
हरे
हरे
राम राम
राम
राम
राम
हरे
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 जय राधा वल्लभ श्री राधे
जय
जय
राधा
राधा
वल्लभ
राधा
वल्लभ
वल्लभ
श्री
श्री
राधे
राधे
जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा
जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय
जय
बलदेवा जय
सुभद्रा
सुभद्रा
जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय
जय
जय
गौरनिताय
गौरनिताय
जय
जय
गौरनिताय
गौरनिताय
जय
जय गौरनिताय
गौरनिताय
जय
जय
गौरनिताय
गौरनिताय
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रभुपदा
जय
जय
प्रभुपदा
प्रभुपदा जय
जय
प्रभुपदा
प्रभुपदा
जय
जय
प्रभुपदा
प्रभुपदा
शिल
जय
प्रभुपदा
प्रभुपदा
निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
निताय
नित्य
गौर
गौर
हरि
हरि
बोल हरि
हरि
बोल
बोल
हरि
हरि
बोल निताय
बोल
गौर
हरि बोल
हरि
हरि
बोल
बोल
निताय गौर सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल जय ओम विश्वास ब्रह्मंस परविजयकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतस्य श्रीमद द्वैन द्वे सभा चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्रीला रजास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से प्रभु श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री गंगमय मही की जय श्रीमद भक्ति देव तुलसीदेव महारानी की जय सांग वेद भक्त वृंद की जय हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. All glories to Supreme devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Supreme devotees, Hare Krishna. All
Hare
glories to
Krishna.
Supreme devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Mataji. Sorry for the late notice. I
Thank
just,
you.
was wondering whether I would be discharged now or a little later. Now I came to know it has been sent to the insurance just then. So insurance takes another 2 hours. So I was sure that I'm not going to be discharged before 6. That's when I sent the message. Right? So that's the reason for the delay in confirming. Right. Now,
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for taking the class in spite of all your, time.
nothing at all, bro. I'm just waiting for the insurance approval, which takes standard 2 hours. Right? Yeah, it takes standard 2 hours. So they sent it around 3:15 or so. That's when I got the confirmation. It won't come until 5:15. So now we can do the 1 hour. Even if they do a super fast processing, it will come at 4:15. I can say wait for 15 minutes before I get discharged. Right? But Indian insurance companies, I don't expect super fast action. So I have no such PS or concerns. So we can leisurely do until your 9 p.m. Right.
Yeah.
Today we are discussing the overview of the sections of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Correct? Yes. Now let's look at, please open Bhagavad Gita, or website, whatever you prefer. I'll open Veda base. Let's look at how exactly, in the first chapter, Lord Krishna, Arjuna completed saying that I cannot fight, and he sat down, leaving the Gandiva and everything. Yes,
Yes, Prabhu.
that's where it finished. Now, in chapter 2, right, Lord Krishna starts speaking, seeing Arjuna. So the Prabhupada calls this chapter Contents of Gita Summarized. In the Sanskrit, it is called Sankhya Yoga, just Sankhya Yoga, right? But Prabhupada names and titles this chapter as Contents of Gita Summarized. Why did he do that? That we will discuss towards the end of the chapter, right? Let's go through and understand the various sections within this chapter, right? First thing first, this is the first time directly Krishna is speaking more than a single phrase, right? Till now, he only said Pashetan Kuruniti. That's it. He just said to Arjuna. Here, he is addressing Arjuna directly and speaking full verses, right? Where you see the first thing he does is to start, advising him like a friend. Yes, in the first section, if you see, he advises like a friend until the third verse, saying that, look, what you are saying is not right. Yes, and it doesn't befit you. Right? Then Arjuna realizes that, he's getting confused. Right? And he expresses further things, saying that I feel it's better to die. I don't know what it is. And then he comes to confused state. Please understand, in these 7 verses, right, or 8 verses, where he says, I can find no means to drive away my grief, I will not be able to do, and he surrenders to Krishna. What has happened again? First time when Lord Krishna spoke, Pashetan Kuruditi, the doubt started creeping in. Yes? Then when Krishna started advising him like a friend, because that Paramatma, Lord Krishna, is within our heart as Sakha, right? Yes or no? Hare Krishna?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
When he is there, when he advised on the chariot, he was advising like a friend. So immediately, the need to surrender to Krishna has come to Arjuna. So Krishna also gave him the intelligence to surrender to him. Yeah. Yes. We see how Krishna has arranged this thing in this section of first 8 verses. Prabhu Mataji, clear on that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Right. Then what happens? Then Lord Krishna starts speaking. Now look at the change of tone of Lord Krishna from the 11th verse. Earlier he was advising him, it's not good for you, it's not befitting you, etc. in the second verse and third verse, right? But here you can see he says, you are speaking like a learned fellow, but lamenting like a fool. Straight away, because he has taken the guru position, yeah, look at the change of tone of Lord Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna, clear on that? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
With the change of tone, he is teaching the ABC of spiritual knowledge, which is we are not the body, we are the spirit soul. For that, he talks in the 12th verse about the eternity. In the 13th verse, he talks about the body and the soul, what happens to the body. And in the 14th, he talks about the senses. Right? How sense perception is happiness and distress. Dukkham, sukham. We discussed that. Kam means sky. Sky doesn't have a form. Sukham means when we apply something is good, it looks like it's good. When we apply a concept of bad, it looks like bad. Right? Sukham and Dukkham are sensory perceptions. And then he takes one away and says, people who are learned do not worry about the non-existent material body, right? But they focus on the soul. So if you see here, from the 11th verse to the 16th verse, or 17th verse rather, yes, he immediately teaches the basic understanding of the body and the spirit soul. How body has a change, spirit soul does not have a change. Body is temporary, spirit soul is eternal, and happiness and distress are due to the sensory perception. Right? 11 to 17 or 18, the section is very, very, 17 rather. 17, that section is these three concepts. 18th onwards, he is talking about the material body, right, of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity will come to an end. He is differentiating the body and things. Then he brings the thought process. One who thinks, it can be killed, or it is killed, or it is a killer, he is not right. So now he is speaking to the thought process, how to think about the soul, right? How to understand the soul, how to think about it, how to understand it. It did not come into being, does not come into being, will not come into being. So understand, think it as non-stayer, understand it as eternal. So then he says, look, the soul being eternal cannot be the killer, cannot be killed or cannot be the killer. And then he brings it back to the body and he compares with old clothes and new clothes, the body aspect. And then takes us to the soul and talks about the various characteristics of the soul, where it cannot be cut into pieces, divided, etc., and how it is not unbreakable, how it is invisible, inconceivable, right? And ultimately he says, if you think, well, this is a chemical reaction, why worry about it? He even brings the, so-called scientific thought into this. Then he says, look, everybody who is born needs to die, and, all created beings are unmanifest. They don't appear in the beginning, they appear in the middle, and then they disappear. Right? And he talks about how the soul is amazing, and he dwells, saying that the body can, the soul can never be slave. And he advises Arjuna now on the duty aspect of the story. From 31st verse, it's the dharma that he is speaking about. This is not the karma, the dharma as a kshatriya. So let's look at it. 1 to 7 or 1 to 8. Let me go back. 1 to 8, right, is about Krishna actually advising Arjuna so that he surrenders and Arjuna surrendering. But 11 to 17 and 18, 11 to 18 specifically, is the high level description of the body, soul, and the senses. Yes? But from 19th to 30, 19 to 30, it's all about the detailed differentiation between the body and the spirit soul. Yes? Hare Krishna? Clear on the three subsections?
Yes, Prabhu.
Should I repeat again?
Prabhu, first section you said 1 to 8, so 9 and 10 you left there? Or?
No, 9 and 10 are just what 9, is what Sanjaya is speaking.
Okay.
Right, Prabhu?
No.
Right, Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna chastens him, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Correct? Oh, listen, oh, Bhagavad, at that time, Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. So 9 and 10 is what Sanjaya said. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right, Prabhu? So I'm talking in terms of the sections of conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu? 1 to 8 is where Krishna responds to all the statements of Arjuna and guides him to surrender to him, to himself. Yes, Prabhuji? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. And 9-10 we have discussed. 11 to 18 is the high level overview of the body, spirit, soul, and the senses. Right? 19 to 30 is the deep dive detail and analytical study of what the body is, what the spirit soul is. Yes, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, everybody is clear on these three subsections?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Now he is talking about the dharma aspect of the story. This is not the karma aspect of the story. This is a dharma aspect from the 31. As a Kshatriya, your prescribed duty is to fight. Yes? And therefore, you have to perform your dharma is something. If you don't do, you will attain infamy. People will laugh at you and your enemies will describe you. Either you will be killed on the battlefield. And then he logically says, Arjuna said earlier, lose-lose situation. The elders will be killed, the family values will be destroyed, we'll go to hell. Krishna is talking here the win-win. If you get killed, you will go to heavenly planets, otherwise you will enjoy the kingdom. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah? So, from the lose-lose argument of Arjuna, he is giving the win-win argument. For all material arguments of Arjuna, he has given the chemical aspect of the story, the chemistry. Yes? Where he said, if you think the body is, always happening by chemical reaction, why worry about it? Anyway, fight. Yes? That also he has said earlier. So, he is logically and in a structured manner answering all various types of positioning that Arjuna had done using, social, spiritual, social Vedic, as well as logical, dissemination. Whatever Arjuna had done, had said, Lord Krishna in a structured manner is defeating each of those premises. Yes, Prabhu, yes, Mataji?
No
Yeah.
problem.
So therefore he's saying, hey, do your duty, without happiness or distress. That means transcend above your senses, because he explained happiness and distress is due to the senses earlier. Transcend above your senses and do your duty, right? And then he says, thus far I've described the knowledge to you through analytical study. Now let's explain to you in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Prudha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of work. This slokam 939. Yesha tebhi hita sankhe buddhir yoge tvimam shrunu. Buddhya yukto yaya pantha karma bandham prahas. Because Krishna analytically advised Arjuna, he called the first section as Sankhya. Hare Krishna, Prabhu Mataji. Clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sankhya means analytical. Sankhya Yuta is one meaning, which is in terms of numbering. When you say it cannot be burnt, it cannot be cut, it cannot be done, you can quantify. Yes? Yes or no, Prabhu Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Yep.
Yes,
That
Prabhuji.
means there is a numerical there. Hey, 10 properties have been described by Krishna about the soul. 5 properties have been described about the body. Hey, 6 properties have been described about the senses. Something like that. Yeah, I'm not saying these are the exact numbers. So just for example, we can quantify. But how can we also qualify? Yeah, yes. The qualification is that of the differentiation between the permanency and the temporary nature of the soul and the body. Yes, yes, that's a. So, in effect, he has done a qualitative analysis and a quantitative analysis and also a logical analysis when he spoke about the chemical aspect of the story. That's why he called the whole section as Sankhya. So, people said Krishna called it Sankhya, we'll name it Sankhya Yoga in the beginning. Right? So, great. But within Sankhya Yoga, we can see the 3 subdivisions that we have discussed. Yes or no? Mataji and Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Now, Buddhi Yoga again has its divisions. Buddhi Yoga is nothing but Bhakti Yoga, but again has its division. One is performing the duty without attachment. The second is how to perform the duty without attachment. Buddhi Yoga is nothing but Bhakti Yoga, but there is a subdivision within that. That's the point that we are going to discuss. There he talks about the qualities of Buddhi Yoga to start with. There is no loss or diminution. A little advancement will protect one from the greatest of danger. The 10% example and the 11% example that Srila Prabhupada gives. Yes, if we do 10% devotion to service in this life, 11% onwards we start from next life. Yes, you are all aware of that example, right? Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhu. Yep.
Yeah.
Neha Vikramanasas.
Neha Vikramanashas. That's where it is starting. So again, a description of the process. It's the benefits of the process, the description of the benefits of the process. Then, therefore, what do people on this path do? How do they behave? They are very resolute in purpose. Their intelligence is very, very steady. Whereas those who are not there, it is many branched. Yes? And why is it many branched? He explains in the next sloka. So now he is differentiating between the Karma Kanda and the flowery Vedic knowledge and the real Buddhi Yoga. He says in the Vedas, you do this puja, you get this result, that, this, and everything. People are focusing on that. And those who are thinking like that, yes, Tayapa Fruta Chetasam, those whose minds are actually stolen, right, by this sense of enjoyment. Yeah. Vyavasayatmika buddhir samadho na vidihiyate. They cannot focus on devotional service. Now we need to understand. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 15 chapter 15 verse, Vedaisya sarvairahameva vedyo. Right? Then why does he say those who are following the words of the Vedas cannot do devotional service? Why do you think Lord Krishna says that?
Because you feel like you got the knowledge. That's Ahankara will come.
More than ahankara, the attachment to the results comes. Once one starts enjoying the quick results by these pujas, that comes and one will think, why not I focus on the result? Why should I worry about, the process? So Krishna is clearly telling in the first 3 to 4 verses, right, 40 to 44, 5 verses, he's saying, look, focus for those who are doing Buddhi Yoga, the focus is on the process. It's a means to an end. The end is not the cause for the means. Hare Krishna, Mataji, Prabhu, clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Right? And then he explains how Vedas deal with the 3 modes, right? And whatever Vedas come, one who understands the purpose behind and not looking at Vedas as, something to get benefits, but to understand that by the Vedas, Lord Krishna is to be known, then for them only they serve the real purpose. Then Krishna tells Arjuna, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Yes. Ma karma phalaheturbhu mate sangosto karmani. That's the 47th verse. Right? Do your duty without any attachment. Right? And that's what our Indian courts tell us, right? With the board on the wall. Yeah. They have Karmanya Adhikaras Mafalesh Karachana. You have right to lodge the FIR, but never expect the result. Yes. Have you ever visited an Indian police station? Hare Krishna? Anybody?
No, Prabhu.
Okay. If you ever go, Prabhu, you will see the first board you will see is before Gandhiji, Nehruji, and all, right?
Yeah.
You will see Karmanya Adhikaras Mafalesh Karachana. Then you try and lodge an FIR, you will know, what is, lack of attachment. By the end of the day, you start thinking, maybe the FIR will come, will not come. I have lost already a day of work. Let me go back. And finally, after lodging the FIR, you will say, thank God I have lodged the FIR. It is there. Let me not worry about it. First, let me focus on my career. After a week running around the police station, you realize that it is futile running around. At least the FIR is there. Yes. So, it's not that sort of Karmanyavadhikaristha that Krishna is talking about here. Krishna talking about we realizing that we should not be attached to the results of our action. Yes. Now, after saying that, he is now talking about, he has now described what are the benefits, what do such people do who are attached to their dharma rather than the karma phala. What do they do? Now he is talking about what's the process they are following, how they perform the duty in a very equipoised manner without attachment to success or failure. And what sort of activities do they perform when they are doing that? They keep away all abominable activities away. Only those approved by the scripture, those which are favorable to devotional service, that they do. Right? And thereby, because they are doing something favorable to the devotional service, because they are in devotional service, they transcend both the good and bad reactions. Why? They get to the stage, if they follow properly, to Sarvadharman Paritteja, Mamekam Saranam Raja. Yes? Hare Krishna? Clear?
Yeah.
So, if you see, in essence, if we talk about it, 42, 44 is about, what has to be done. And 45 to 47 is about how it needs to be done. What has to be done, how it needs to be done. And 48 onwards, it's about, how Arjuna should do. Right? And examples of what happened to people who have done it. And he tells, when you work with intelligence, then all your delusion and all those things are gone. This is where he talks about, controlling the mind and the senses, right? And the mind no longer gets disturbed by the Vedic words, right? And then what happens is, when you are like that, then in divine consciousness you will fight. Yes. So here he describes about, right, how to perform the dharma as divya karma or bhakti karma. Hare Krishna. Prabhu Mataji, clear on this section? 48 to 51, 52?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Right. In fact, 53 also. 48 to 53 is how to perform the dharma karma as the Bhagavad dharma karma, because dharmam tu sakshat Bhagavad pranitam. Srimad Bhagavatam says dharmam is actually established by Lord Krishna himself. Because Krishna established it, it has to be done as a duty towards his devotion. right? Dharma karma should be bhakti karma, right? Then Arjuna asks, right? Oh Krishna, somebody who behaves like that, you're asking me to behave like that, conduct myself like that, act like that, you know, that's great. How does one speak? What is his language? How does he sit? How does he walk? And look at the next verse. Does Krishna talk about speak, language, sitting, or walking? I would advise you here, Bhakti Shastri, this is how to speak, what is the language, how does he sit, how does he walk. All these verses are connected and spoken. That is also there, that is valid. But what I want to bring out most important point that Krishna focuses on, because you learn that when you do your Bhakti Shastri, I don't want to introduce it to you up front here. I want to bring the focus of Lord Krishna when he is talking that. When Arjuna asks, how does he speak? What is his language? How does he sit? And how does he walk? Look at the next verse, 55th verse, what Krishna says. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana atushta sthita prajnas tadochyate. He doesn't talk about speaking, talking, sitting, walking, because that can be imitated. He says, Prajahati yada kaman, one man who gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise out of mental concoction. Sarvan partha manogatan, all of them are coming from the mind. Atmanyevatmanatushya, when his mind is thus purified in thinking about the self and the super soul, then he is in pure transcendental consciousness. He is again talking the behavior that Arjuna needs to emulate, not imitate. Hare Krishna Prabhu Mataji. Clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Speaking can be imitated, language can be imitated, sitting can be imitated, walking can be imitated, but behavior cannot be imitated. Yes? Why cannot behavior be imitated? Can anybody say that?
Every individual is different, Prabhu, so they have their own characters. So that.
Yeah. Where does it come from? Prabhu, you remember that diagram, Prabhu? The Venn diagram that I demonstrated earlier for the behavior?
Yeah, Prabhu, it's circle center will be the.
Yeah, that's the one. Yes, Prabhu. Let me, because other devotees here do not know, right? That particular intersection. Let me bring that to the fore. So let's take a little example, right? I'll insert a Venn diagram. Where are you? Smart art. Smart art. Yeah, circle. Which is a Venn, where is a Venn diagram here? Where is my Venn diagram?
There, Prabhu. Left. Yeah. Below. Is that the one? Down.
No, that's not the one, Prabhu. One second, Prabhu. One second. That's not Venn diagram. This is a pie chart and everything. Hierarchy, relationship. There should be a Venn diagram.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is the Venn diagram. Yes? Suppose you're going for a driving license in Australia, right? What would you do? You would take that Vic Roads book. Let's say you're all in Melbourne, and you take the Vic Roads book, read that up, and then you will take a written test. Yes? Hare Krishna? Yes or no?
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
still the process, Prabhu? Is that still the process, Prabhuji? Ajay Prabhu?
Yep.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay, knowledge. Then what do? We go to a little, a training school, and the training school trains us. We start understanding, after missing a few traffic circles, yeah, we understand how we need to stop at a traffic circle, how we need to slow down, indicate, give way to those on the right, etc. So our understanding improves. Yes or no? Yes? Right? When we are taking the test, we keep reminding ourselves, look, this guy is asking me to turn right at a traffic circle, the evaluator, right? Okay, he's asking me to turn right. There will be the first left, then the straight, and the third will be the right. When I'm turning right, I have to give way to the traffic on the right. We are constantly communicating with us. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, Prabhuji.
This knowledge, this understanding, this communication results in us driving properly and getting the driving license. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that defines our behavior. You see the point? That intersection is nothing but our behavior. Hare Krishna, Prabhu Mataji, clear on that now? One second, let me bring in a text box. Where is a text box, buddy?
Insert, I think, Prabhu.
Oh, insert is it? Insert, we have text box.
Yeah, the text box.
Intersection is the yes, Prabhu and Mataji.
Hmm.
That's the thing. With a little driving example, we can see how that knowledge, when practice becomes understanding, right? What is knowledge? That is jnana. Yes or no?
Yeah, Prabhu. Knowledge. No.
Understanding is vijnana. That's why we see Lord Krishna giving Divya Jnana in the 3rd chapter, and in the 7th chapter giving the Vijnana Yoga. Hare Krishna,
Yeah.
Yes,
right?
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And then in the 9th chapter, he is communicating Rajavidya Rajagosha, the king of knowledge. Yeah? It's the communication aspect of the story. And the behavior is in the 12th chapter in Bhakti Yoga. And by practicing it, the end goal is 15th chapter, Purushottama Prapti Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Person. Yes? And the result could be moksha. Hare Krishna. You see the logical connectivity here? Hare Krishna Prabhu Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Anybody in doubt regarding whatever I said, please ask the question. This is not a time to remain silent. It's a time to be very, very active. Otherwise, the rest of Bhagavad Gita will become a confusion. There will be fusion of many verses that will cause confusion. So the fusion is very, very con or bad. It becomes a con artist. Yes? Okay, sure. Now that there are no questions, I presume either I have bowled a bouncer or you have all understood, whichever it is. I'll pray to Krishna that it be the right thing. Yes? Okay. So what happens is, right? Krishna is now talking about sense control, and he's talking, he should not disturb by threefold miseries, right? Whether it is good or evil, he is not affected. He is able to withdraw his senses from the sense objects like a tortoise, right? But he is not doing it just for the sake of restriction. He tastes the higher taste, right? Because the higher taste he is able to control, not that he is just controlling his senses. If he doesn't get the higher taste, what happens? So Krishna is talking, if you see Lord Krishna is talking from 55th verse to the 60th verse or 61st, one second. No, 59th verse, all right? How the taste, higher taste is important and sense control should not be artificial, right? Yes? And he explains the senses are, then he explains the power of the senses from the 68th verse. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? 55th to the 59, he is talking about, how one should, control the senses by getting a higher taste. But then he is saying, otherwise, what happens? The senses, how powerful they are. In the 60th verse, he says, they are so powerful that they will forcibly drive the mind. Yes. If somebody just controls the senses, right, fixing his consciousness upon Krishna, he has the steady intelligence. Otherwise, what happens? That's what he's saying. Dhyayato Vishyanpumsa Sangasteshu Pajayate. When contemplates an object of senses, Sangasteshu Pajayate, attachment, Sangha. Sangat Sanjayate Kama. From such attachment, lust develops. Kama Krodha Vijayate. You know, the non-satisfaction of the lust gives rise to anger. You know, we all heard the story of the fox, right? It goes and tries to get the grapes. The grapes are too high. It jumps, it can't get it. Then it says the grapes are Saba. Yes or no? We heard the story so many times, right? As young kids, right? That's the sort of an anger that arises. So you see, initially it was a desire. Okay. Then from there is attachment. From the attachment, lust comes. Lust got transformed into anger. We were in a happy state to now a foul mood. 4 steps of degradation. Yes? Now Krishna gives another 4 steps of degradation. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. From anger comes delusion. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. From delusion comes bewilderment of memory. Shruti bhramshat buddhinasyo. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is destroyed. Buddhinashat pranasyati. When intelligence is destroyed, one falls completely into the material pool. Hare Krishna. See how clearly Krishna in this section is segregating the importance of surrendering the intelligence to him. And if we don't do that, what happens and how we have a wonderful 8-step fall down. The Ashta Kashta, the Ashta Nashta. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
You would have heard about the Ashta Kashtas and the Ashta Nashtas. Right? The Ashta Kashtas are happiness to, complete loss of intelligence and complete confusion. Ashta Nashtas are, that we get attached, we do all those things. Yes? The mood change is the Ashta Kashta, and Ashta Nashta is the result that results in fall down. Nashta means diminution. Kashta means sorrow. Yes? 8 sorrows and 8 diminutions. Yes, Prabhu Mataji, clear on that?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Then he says, but one who is free from attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom can obtain. Because when one is satisfied in Krishna consciousness, 3 modes of material nature and the 3 miseries, the Adhyatmik, Adibhautik, Adidhaivik. You know the 3 miseries, right? Yes? Yeah. So they are not doing the thing. If one is not connected, in transcendental intelligence, on a steady state of mind, there is no possibility of one being peaceful. And just like a strong wind sweeps a boat out away from the water, the roaming senses will carry away man's intelligence. Therefore, Krishna says, restrain your senses. Here, Lord Krishna is explaining that real intelligence is to take control of the senses by surrendering them. Hushikena Hushikesa Sevana. Right? And then he explains, how do you control the senses? When you don't let them run after what the others run. That's why he talks about the night and the day. Alright? Focus on what should be focused upon. He talked about withdrawing the senses, right? During the daytime, be internally focused upon me. During the night time, because you are focused upon time, even if you look at it as day and night. Of course, there is the aspect of knowledge and ignorance, but I'm talking from the perspective of day and night. During the day, when all the others are letting their senses roam around saying that how can I enjoy, what can I do, focus internally upon me. But during the night, because you are focusing all the while during the day upon me, you can not worry about it, you can go to sleep and still you are meditating upon me. Yes, Krishna is giving a double sort of a conclusion here. The knowledge is the day and the lack of knowledge is the night. The surrender to Krishna is the day, the lack of surrender is the night. So that's why he's talking about what is day for all others is night, because they're not for the great sages. Why? They don't surrender themselves to the senses. And what is night for all others? Because they don't have control over the senses. The sages, because they're meditating upon Lord Krishna all through the day, even at night, even if they are resting like an ordinary human being, are completely have the control on their senses that they're meditating and serving Lord Krishna, even in that swapna state, right? Not just in the Jagruta state, right? The Sushupta and Swapna state as well, they do it. You are aware of the three states, right? Jagruta state is awakened state. Sushupta is between being awakened and sleepy state. And also Swapna is when you are sleepy and in the dreaming state. In all these states, they are in full control of the senses. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Mataji, clear on this point?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So a person
Hare
who is,
Krishna Prabhu.
yes Mataji, please tell me.
The in before sloka you mentioned regulative principles of freedom.
Yeah.
What is that regulative principles of freedom means, Prabhu?
Mataji, when we talk about no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
There is freedom to use the senses, but in a regulated manner. Yes, Mataji?
Okay.
Right? A simple example. That one. Where when we are acting,
Prabhuji,
sorry, Mataji, I'll just complete the statement and complete. Where when we are acting according to the instructions of Guru, Krishna, Sadhu, and Shastra, that's we are using our senses and desires, the freedom to desire in a regulated manner. To give an example, even if I lose 100 rupees, we discuss this 100 rupees loss example. We go to Krishna
Yes,
and pray, I have lost 100 rupees. Please give me the right intelligence to handle myself properly. Yes, Mataji?
yes, Prabhu.
There is the desire to not lose 100 rupees, but still we are asking Krishna to guide us. Yeah? Make sense?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Sorry, you are asking another question.
no, Prabhuji, that was me. Sorry to interrupt.
Not at all, Mataji. No interruption at all. Please ask the question. It's important.
I was about to ask the same thing. When it comes to census
Yeah.
and regulative principles, Prabhuji, I always get confused. Our regulative principles are very clear. This is our path. This is what we need to. This is what acharyas are guiding us. On the other side, we may get into a confused state, especially when we deal with parents or own family members. They seems to be enjoying the senses and they think that is the right path.
Because they consider
So
themselves karma yogis.
yes, exactly, Prabhuji.
They forget that they are karma
And
bhogis.
yeah, the karmic again. We don't want to get bound to that karmic reactions, but at the same time, we don't want to use that freedom of Krishna. But how to manage, Prabhuji, this situation?
The situation is very, very simple, Mataji. Right? Probably you're talking about a case like when you visit India, they do a puja and they ask you to be part of the puja, those sort of things. Correct?
And also more of Prabhuji, especially you have mentioned that part and other things like oh, look at this auntie, look at this uncle, look at the cousins.
That's right. Look how
they
well they
they
are
are
doing. How
enjoying the karmic life and they
Mm,
think we are doing something that's
that's
supposed
correct.
not to be.
Don't worry, Mataji. My father told me, when I came into ISKCON and when I went the first time, my father said, "You just got married. Are you going to give up that girl and take sannyas?" Right? My father said this to me. Right? But before he was leaving the body in the last 1 week, you know, he turns around and says, "Hope I haven't been a Hiranyakashipu in your life." And I told him, "Look, I'm not Prahlad Maharaj. You're not Hiranyakashipu. As a generative father, you are concerned that I was probably, going to leave that girl and run away and take sannyas. That isn't the thing. No, no, now I see how you have balanced your material and spiritual lives." My father acknowledged. Mind you, he was a communist. So Mataji, those people, we can't convince them with our words. Over a period of time, it's our actions that will demonstrate to them how we are happier than them. Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. I completely agree with you. Thank you,
Because
Prabhuji.
whatever we try and tell them, they'll turn around and say, do you think you know better than me? I have trained you. Yes.
Exactly, Prabhuji. Especially when it comes to dealing with elders. Oh, Krishna.
Yeah. Therefore, yeah, the way we should do it is we take them to the yatras and show them how we are eating pizza pastas offered to Lord Krishna. And how we go to Mayapur and still have masala dosa in Mayapur, which is offered to Krishna without onion and garlic. That tastes better than the onion and garlic masala dosa. Yes, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. You're so true. They are not able to see that bliss we are doing. They think we are escaping.
No, no, Mataji. The way is engage them in Krishna's service. Give them the taste of Krishna Prasadam. Everything will fall in place gradually. But the problem is, we are taking so much time to understand Bhagavad Gita, but we expect the others to understand it as soon as we see. I am teaching you. Why can't you understand? The problem is with us, not with them. It's our ego.
True, Prabhuji.
See, even now, our discussion is they are not understanding. It's not that I'm not able to explain to them
Yes.
properly so that they can understand. Look at how once we have taken up devotional service, sometimes the ego creeps in even in the way. I'm not saying you're talking egotic, Mataji. Please, that's not my
No,
intent.
no, Prabhuji.
No,
I
no intention
understand.
of any offense I'm committing. Please excuse me. Right? I offer my obeisances to you. My intent
No,
is to
Prabhuji.
talk
Please.
about the
Sorry. Thank you
behavior.
so much for correcting me, Prabhuji.
It's not a correction, Mataji, because it took me years to realize that I had become egotic
Mm,
coming into ISKCON.
mm,
It took me years, believe me. April 27, 1997, I met with an accident. And that accident taught me how infinitesimal I am and how it's the sheer mercy of Lord Krishna that I am able to perform the devotional service after that accident. Because the doctors told my family, you know, this guy met with an accident. Somehow you guys got him from a place called Nelluru to Tirupati, where Lord Balaji is there. When we were putting him on the stretcher to do an MRI, he said, Govinda, Govinda, only the Lord should protect him. We can't say anything for 72 hours. And after that, you know, I was there in coma for 21 days. I got up. I couldn't remember a single shloka of Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or anything, but I was able to remember all the verses, all the translations and Prabhupada statements. So I was preaching to everybody there, the nurses, doctors, and everybody. Finally, in my discharge summary report, they said, the guy is speaking so much on Bhagavad Gita, we are discharging him. And it took me,
mm.
I couldn't chant Maha Mantra more than 11 mantras. I'm not talking 11 malas, 11 mantras in a day for almost 6 to 7 months. And when I wrote to my Guru Maharaj said, don't worry, don't even have to catch up. Slowly come to 108 mantras and then come to the 16 malas. Well, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, I could come back. I could do that. And, I've even caught up on the backlog slowly. Every day chanting a few rounds, few rounds, few rounds. I caught up on the backlog and then reported to my Guru Maharaj. I've chanted all of that. Guru Maharaj said, my blessings to you.
Jai. Mm,
Without Krishna's mercy, this won't happen. That taught me how egotic I was until then. Right? And that was the first time my father saw me in dhoti kurta and everything and saying, you can't do that, you can't do this, telling them, you can't do that, you don't do that, and asked me, are you going to become a sannyasi? But he himself saw the transformation in me so much after that accident, you know. By the end of it, he was saying, all right, I know what you are doing. I appreciate. That was the statement. As long as you balance your material life and spiritual life, that is fine. But towards the end of his life, he started saying, I see how you have balanced both. So we, at least I have gone on a very, very egotic platform. I can confidently state that. Right? So sometimes, even in devotion, so it's the ego that comes in, unfortunately. Ego itself has a go in it. It's not go, it's electrified going to hell. It's a go for electrification, where we are killing our soul, Atmahanaha, killers of the soul, as this Upanishad says. But when the E is for Indiranatha and Go is for Govinda, the ego becomes Sadahankar. Yes, Mataji? Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Prabhuji, looking everything Krishna centered.
Krishna centered. Indiranatha, oh husband of goddess of fortune, oh Govinda, control my senses and engage me in your devotional service. Yes, Mataji?
Thank you,
That's what
Prabhuji.
Krishna is saying in the 70th verse and 71st verse. A person who is not disturbed and where they just enter like rivers into an ocean, right? Then he can alone achieve peace. And who gives up all desires for sense gratification, who is free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he can alone attain real peace. Then he says, Yesha Brahmi Sthiti Partha. This is the real state of godliness. Nainam prapya vimuhyati. After attaining it, you will not be bewildered. Stitvasyam antakalepi. Even at the last minute, in the last hour of death, Brahma Nirvanam Chati, you will attain the kingdom of God. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Mataji. Can you see how the last section is all about sense control and using the intelligence in the right way and performing devotional service?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu.
How to perform? That's what Krishna is talking in the last section, starting from the 50, 60th verse till 71st, and then 72nd is the come. How? By doing that, the what of the duty, the how of the duty, the what of the, devotion service, the how of the devotions, the what of the senses and how of the senses, sense control. What of the sense control and how of the sense control? By practicing all these, one can really be in the Krishna conscious situation. So now you see at a high level, second chapter is Sankhya Yoga and Buddhi Yoga. But Sankhya Yoga, as we discussed, there is the Krishna discussion, then Krishna, talking about, other things like the what of the body and the soul, and also about the very detailed analysis of the body and the soul, those three parts. Then when we came to the Buddhi Yoga part, we talked about, the what of the senses, the how of the senses, what of the intelligence, how of the intelligence, what of the duty, and how of the duty. Yes, Prabhu Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Right? And doing all this, understanding the what and the way, how we should perform, we attain that Krishna conscious state because we will use the intelligence in discriminating what not to be done, how it not to be done, and why it not to be done. Also, what ought to be done, how ought to be done, why ought to be done. Yeah, the not becomes the ought. From NOT, it becomes OUGHT. The difference makes everything becomes an established Krishna consciousness. Clear, Mataji Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So the sections and everything clear, right? The subsections and everything? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Please continue your study based on this Atman Shulan Yatra. We will again catch up, and this time you will give me the summary on the second chapter once you have finished. I will be listening. Each of you will take a section and you will speak on it. It will be the reverse osmosis.
We try Prabhuji, but
No,
yeah.
Mataji, don't say try. You rely on Srila Prabhupada, Guru and Krishna and do it. The moment we say we will try, we may not try. In try itself, there is a brain fry. In try itself, there is a brain fry where mind says don't bother. Right? We don't want to become non-vegetarian, eating brain fry. Yes, Mataji? Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Please. In Krishna consciousness, we always want to try. When it is office and if we have to learn AI, are we trying? We are doing. Right? Artificial intelligence we want to learn. Achyuta intelligence we don't want to earn. And we don't have the Adhokshaja inspiration and we don't have the Asamurdhva inclination. Because we are attracted to the artificiality, not to the reality. I'm not making fun statements here. This is what is happening in the real world. These words look like, some sort of, coining terms and playing with it. No, this is the reality. How many people are running after Krishna consciousness? As much as if you tell them, come to a Bhagavad Gita class, they won't come. If I say I'm training in artificial intelligence and machine learning, how many people will come? The difference is there. Yes, Prabhuji, yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Agree, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Krishna himself said, no, Prabhu. Manushanam sahasresha kasyat siddhi.
Yes.
So,
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. That's what I'm saying. Therefore, we should not look at trying. We should look at crying for the service. Because that's what Hare Krishna Mahamantra is saying. And somehow, Krishna, I did not plan for this. This statement, the Paramatma gave me the intelligence and I made the statement. Please, somehow Krishna is giving you the opportunity to serve him. Please don't give it up. Take it and do it. Okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Any other questions? Any other comments? Okay, so
We'll start second chapter and we'll come back to you.
yeah, please come back to me when you are ready to speak to me on the second chapter.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Srimad Bhagavadgita ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nita Yoga Sitara Premanandi Hari Hari. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thanks, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. God bless Srila Prabhupada.
Dhanyavad.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.